Good morning and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. Is this the Ides? Is the 13th the Ides or is 16th the Ides? What's the Ides?
Oh, we're going to have to Google it now, Wes.
Why are you asking fucking literary questions on a show with guys who that's their biggest weakness?
Not either, Wes. It's the 15th, but nice try.
That was close.
You split the... What the hell's an Ide? What the hell's an Ide?
I don't know.
What was... Is that when Julius Caesar, was killed? Or is it when he won something?
It's something you get on your dong if you sleep with an unclean woman.
Yeah, you don't want the Ides.
Yeah.
Ides. The Romans did not
AIDS.
number each day of a month for the first to last day. Instead, they counted back from 3 fixed points of the month. The nuns, that were the 5th, 7th, and 8th days before the Ides. The Ides, the 13 for most months, but the 15th in March, May, July, and October. And they're fucking idiots.
That's
Why
right.
don't they just call it Julius Caesar Dies Day?
So it's not. Yeah, it's a period of every month.
Right.
But then something happened specifically in March when Et tu, Brute.
Right. The Ides of February, no one assassinated Julius Caesar, so we don't hear about
Not as exciting.
Yeah. Right.
Not as exciting.
Well, we're not going to be talking about that anymore. We're going to be talking about...
Way to go.
We're going to be talking about Boeing back in the news for some huge news. They are a terrible company. And then Pat's going to be talking about TikTok, right?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the Biden special counsel hearing that happened in Congress on Tuesday and the impending TikTok ban potentially.
Okay.
But back to the Ides really quick.
Yeah, let's talk about the
Go
Ides.
back to it. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
The 15th. Remember that. Every 15th, you can say it's the Ides of whatever.
No, Mark, did you not listen to what the fuck I was saying? It's not every 15th, bro.
It's only March is the 15th. It's normally the 13th, which is why I was confused.
Months.
Oh,
March,
you knew
May.
the Ides was usually the 13th? Was?
Yeah, of course.
That's why I got confused.
That's why I was confused.
March, May, July, and October, okay, are the Ides.
All right. Let's do the news.
13th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do the news. Let's talk about Boeing. Boeing is back to their old tricks again. Surprise, surprise. You're not going to believe it. First up, they tried to kill a plane full of people. And then later, we'll talk about how they did kill someone, allegedly. So first, LATAM Airlines Flight 800 from Australia to New Zealand on a Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Remember that plane? That'll come back. Turned into a nightmare after a, quote, technical event led to a sudden, strong maneuver, which is a really nice way of saying the plane suddenly nosedove without any warning, sending a dozen people to the hospital. And here's a news clip of what happened.
To new video overnight of a...
Skip ahead a little bit here.
This to a horror movie. This morning, new video from inside that plane, which shows what happened in the moments after this Boeing 787 Dreamliner suddenly plunged mid-flight, uprooting passengers from their seats, tossing them around the cabin. One passenger describing a scene reminiscent of The Exorcist, as passengers who had removed their seatbelts during the previously calm flight flew out of their seats, slamming their heads on the ceiling.
Everyone was terrified. There were people whimpering all over. There were people injured all over.
Another witness recounting it was similar to being at the top of a hill on a roller coaster and suddenly shooting all the way down with no warning.
It was just like the worst form of turbulence you could think of. So everyone just hits the roof and falls to the ground.
At least 50 passengers treated for injuries. 13 are currently in the hospital.
There you go. That guy's who you ask for weed.
Yeah, dude, that guy looked like, he kind of looked like Snoopy's cousin if he had a soul patch.
Shaggy's?
No, Snoopy's cousin is the one with the hat. He had the hat. He's from Albuquerque. Real shifty.
That's a shifty character.
Yeah, great guy to go to for psychedelics, not necessarily for a breakdown of what happened. But that sounds insane. It sounds like there were zero gravity, essentially, like that.
Yeah, the seatbelt
Okay,
sign
go
was
music
off.
video.
They're investigating it. There's some rumors that some of these Dreamliners have issues with the wings, and sometimes it wasn't necessarily an engine failure or one of those. It could have been that bug that we've talked about in the past years. That
in the Maxes, yeah,
death plunge. They're looking into it. They're calling it a technical fault or error for now, and they'll let us know. But they do want to remind you to always wear your seatbelt, especially if on a Boeing.
No, that's a great point, Mark. I was on a plane just yesterday, and I was thinking to myself, these seatbelt things are so stupid, unless you're on a Boeing, of course. Now I'm thinking of that Exorcist scene, and that's a hilarious image. Remember, she goes from the bed all the way to the ceiling.
That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You break your neck that way. The people are lucky they didn't.
Yeah,
just
that's
snap
how.
necks.
That's how what's his name died. The infomercial guy, a suitcase hit him in the head when he when he opened it. It wasn't from necessarily turbulence, but when the suitcase came out of the overhead, knocked him in the head. He died later.
Yeah. That's why they didn't want me to put my son on the floor when I was traveling back to Virginia when he was a year old.
Yeah, because the baby could go whoop.
Yeah, but I still did it.
But you
on the floor of the plane.
On the floor of the plane, yeah.
That was
look, he fits right on. Look, he fits right under the seat.
Well, I was in the front row, Pat. There was a perfect place for me to put a blanket down, put the baby down. Okay. I put my foot on him. He was fine.
Yeah, I put my boot on him. I pinned him with my boot.
I did. I had him pinned down with my foot. Would have done a goddamn thing in that situation.
Well, you probably would, go to the bathroom at some point. I guess you'd bring him. Anyways, I'm with the airlines on that one. Lots of technical issues on Boeings recently over the past several years, really. Which leads us to our second Boeing story. Former Boeing employee of 32 years, John Barnett, seen here, was found dead in his car a few days ago from a bullet to the head. That'll do it.
Self-inflicted bullet to the head, right, Mark? Or so they're reporting?
It's being reported, Pat, that it's a self-inflicted bullet wound, which is interesting because Barnett was a recent whistleblower of Boeing and was in the middle of testifying against them in legal proceedings. So
yeah, he was right. He was about to testify for the second time, and then he suddenly got a bullet to the head.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Yeah.
You know what? Yep. This is interesting. I haven't seen a headline like this come from. All news almost starts in the fringe conspiracy theory source space, right? And this is where this headline started. I've never seen a headline shoot to mainstream news this fast, except for Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, well, this one's pretty clear to read through the lines. Barnett worked as a quality manager at the North Charleston, South Carolina plant, which focused on making, drum roll, the 787 Dreamliner.
Wait a minute, Mark. That's the one they've been having problems with.
It is. For years, he worked there before retiring for health reasons in 2017. Now, he kept in touch with former employees and friends and found out that in 2019, his coworkers were pressured to deliberately fit substandard parts to aircraft on the production line, according to him. He also claims to have uncovered serious problems with the oxygen systems, saying that about 25% of the masks would not work on Boeing 787 Dreamliners if needed in an emergency. Soon after beginning work in South Carolina in 2010, he became concerned that aircraft safety was being compromised due to the push from Boeing to get new aircraft built on their aggressive timeline. That included things like he claimed the workers failed to follow procedures so they could get these planes out there, intended to track components through the factory, allowing defective components to go missing. He also complained that substandard parts that were even taken from scrap bins were used and fitted into planes so that they could be built to prevent delays in the production line.
So they're just jamming parts in there that didn't fit.
Anything to get it out there. Duct tape, rubber bands. It's like when Robert Griffin's knee got exploded in college and they just kind of rubber banded it back together.
Right, I'm excited to see that happen again. Penix or Robert Griffin IV. But Mark, this is the same Boeing that had $7.7 billion in profit last year, and essentially is part of a government contract monopoly of aeronautical manufacturers that is essentially largely subsidized by our tax dollars. Is this the same Boeing?
It is, Pat. And Google claimed, when I looked at Google said they're worth $112.1 billion as of today. Who knows? when you get to that, give or take a few billion.
This is also the same Boeing. I'm sure you guys saw the documentary Downfall about the 730, the Maxes. They're impatient. They like to get things done. So it's the same company that rushed the pilots or didn't put the pilots in the training for the new Maxes, which led to them not knowing what the fuck to do in the emergency that killed, hundreds of people when the 2 or 3 planes crashed during the automatic system. Override.
Man, I also want to correct. It's a duopoly because Airbus. But Mark, what year did he say they were jamming the square pegs in the round holes?
He suspected it all the way back to 2010, but 2019 is when he said he got proof. And Wes, who's more impatient? I ask you, Boeing or travelers? Right? They got to get places too, don't they?
Right.
Pesky travelers, right? Their damn customers are impatient. It's the same.
Not wearing their seatbelts.
Barnett
getting on planes light.
Yeah, wear your fucking seatbelt, idiots. It's their fault. Barnett told Boeing management about all of this, who did absolutely nothing, and then he told the media and was testifying in court proceedings going on during his death, as Wes mentioned. A 2017 review by the U.S. regulator, the FAA, ever heard of them? Federal Aviation Administration, upheld some of Barnett's claims, establishing that the location he worked at, there were at least 53 non-conforming parts in the factory that were used, probably considered lost and used on these planes. Boeing was ordered to take remedial action back in 2017 by the FAA, but they continued on with their bullshit. Fast forward to March 2024, where Barnett gave a formal deposition the week before his death. On March 9th is when he died. He was in Charleston this past week for legal interviews, of which he was halfway through. He'd already done one. But when he did not show up for his interview on Saturday, March 9th, it was found out to be because someone put a bullet in his head.
Oh, wait, Mark, you said that he doesn't live in Charleston. He had traveled to Charleston specifically to testify, but somewhere along the line said, you know what? I'm just going to kill myself instead. Now,
yep,
he stayed at a Holiday Inn too.
Great pillows, by the way.
Exactly.
Incredible pillows at the Holiday Inn. You don't want to put anything on your, you don't want to put anything in your head but those pillows when you're staying at a Holiday Inn.
Oh my God. This
town's too nice. I better kill myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's too sunny in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
The girls' skirts are too short.
It's spring break in Charleston. I better
kill
myself.
I've seen Bill Murray. Better kill myself now.
Yeah. The food here is just too tasty, and I can't stand another minute of it.
Who could it have been that put the bullet in his head? Could it have been 62-year-old Barnett himself? Sure. Surely it wasn't someone from the $112 billion company or someone they hired to shut up the man that not only was whistleblowing, but was also suing them in civil court for defamation of character because once he went to the media back in 2019, they started ruining this guy's life. So he was, set to make a huge settlement for sure. Maybe he didn't want the money that he would have easily won, or to finish testifying against the company that ruined his and several other people's lives by making faulty airplanes, and decided to end things abruptly mid-testimony. And maybe I'm a 7-foot Asian man named Ting Ting. Boeing described his death in a statement as, quote, tragic, probably because they couldn't get to him sooner. Joking, satire, this is a parody news show protected by parody law because we are comedians that only claim to be 80% accurate on the news. Don't kill me. I mean, don't sue me, Boeing.
Man, I'm looking at the statement from his brother Rodney, and this is fishy as fuck, right? Because again, you're almost done, buddy. Just don't kill. Okay, go home to the Holiday and take a rest. Come back tomorrow. Don't kill yourself. Rodney, his brother, says, quote, he was looking forward to having his day in court and hoped that it would force Boeing to change its culture. That's what Rodney said. The family, I guess, I'm assuming this is maybe Rodney, says that he suffered from PTSD and anxiety attacks as a result of being subjected to the hostile work environment at Boeing, which we believe led to his death. Now, yeah, no shit, it led to his death, but probably not by his own hand. Like, why are they getting paid off? Why are they not saying that this is fucking suspicious?
Well, that's a good question, Pat. A couple crazy theories could be maybe Barnett Life of David Galed himself. This is Kevin Spacey movie where he plays a martyr to get his point across, so that it's the death penalty thing is taken off the court. Maybe he wanted to get killed so that all this news could come to light, so that the Boeings would fix their plane. Maybe Boeing paid millions of dollars for him to kill himself to his family. Who knows? Allegedly.
Did he not finish the David Gale movie? Because you got to finish your testimony before you off yourself. You know what I mean? Just wait a day.
Maybe. Yeah. Listen, if I am killed, can you guys please build a website in my honor, maybe making it cat and dog themed, and start a charity for rescue pets? And you can easily do that by using the sponsor of our show, Squarespace, who is bringing our show today. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time all in one place, all on your terms. Squarespace is the best, and it's so easy to use even for dum-dums like us, mainly because of their incredible user-friendly features, like their Fluid Engine, which is a next-generation website design system from Squarespace. Unbreakable creativity is at your fingertips with best-in-class website template, customizable to the last detail with reimagined drag-and-drop technology for desktop or mobile. With Squarespace extensions, you can connect your whole store to vetted third-party tools to extend the functionality of your website. If you do email campaigns, check out Squarespace's email campaigns to easily collect subscribers' emails and build connections to drive sales and engage your audience. They also have incredible analytics, video and asset libraries, blogging tools, making blogging and vlogging easier than ever, an online store to sell your products with flexible payment options for your customers, and much more. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to https://www.squarespace.com/hardfactor to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Just type in www.squarespace.com/hardfactor, save 10% off your first purchase.
There you go. All right, guys.
Was that guy married, or did he have? Is just his brother that
If he is married, I wonder if his wife's going to get millions of dollars.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Probably not married if his brother is doing the statement to the media. Probably not.
Yeah.
But
maybe just killed himself.
Could have just killed himself. Totally. That absolutely happened. Maybe just put back to the Ides of March real quick. To put just a spin on the David Gale take, Mark. Maybe he's a conspiracy theorist lover and knows that killing himself would create a years-long investigation and people pontificating on what it could have been, right?
Oh, I was going to say investigation into the planes, but yeah, maybe if he's like egotistical maniac, but yeah.
Sure. Huge day for me today. Watched I did what you do when you're around olds, and I was in the hospital all day with my dad. And what did we do? We put on a congressional hearing because that's what olds like to do. So that's what I'm going to update you on. The Biden special counsel document inquiry congressional hearing, which took place with Robert Hur, who was the special prosecutor, investigator, guy that looked into Biden's hiding of documents. He was peppered with questions from Congress for about 5 hours today. And boy, was it tedious. Big takeaways. Well, a lot of lawyers who are also Congress people seem to forget the process of investigating someone and being a prosecutor because they were asking a lot of dumb questions. But we did find some stuff out. So effectively what was happening is the Republicans were asking why they did not bring charges against Biden, okay? And Hur essentially said, well, look, we looked at it, and it's our job as part of the federal government, a prosecutor, to make a determination of whether if we brought charges, we would win at trial, at which point, after doing the investigation, we thought we did not. And the Democrats went after Hur and said, why'd you call an old man? And he was like, because he's an old man with poor memory issues. That was the entirety of it. Here's what we learned. Here's the situation. It was about Trump, right? Essentially, they were saying, well, how are you going to do this to Joe and then prosecute Trump, right? And here's the key difference takeaway. Joe absolutely knew that he had classified documents. That came out today. I didn't read the report. It was in the report, apparently. But Joe was doing an interview with his biographer maybe 6 years ago, and he's on an audio tape telling the biographer, hey, I just found the classified documents downstairs. So there you have it. He knew that he did. The big difference, and Hur pointed this out, he was being asked questions about the Trump prosecution, even though he's not the direct prosecutor on it, but the big difference is when they found out Biden had documents, Biden fully cooperated. And he was like, that was a big thing. He consented to a search. He gave the documents right over. Trump did not. He hid the documents, tried to obstruct people getting at the documents, and that's the big fucking difference, essentially. It boils down to, in a nutshell.
Also, though, they I was listening to it a little bit in the car. they said that also, like, Trump had the documents at Mar-a-Lago, which was around, he had 150 events. They were just kind of willy-nilly, anyone could have accessed them, blah, 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 blah. But the biggest takeaway for me was that this guy was saying that Biden was old, and that's why, he didn't know any better, or he was too old to realize. And it's like, okay, well, if this guy's too old to realize that this is illegal, maybe he probably shouldn't be president if he's that fucking old and doesn't realize that's certain that fact.
I mean, they tried to use this opportunity to hammer that home. Like, one of the weakest things that you can do in an argument is to start with Webster's dictionary definitions, which, like, I forget which congressman did it, but like Webster's dictionary defines senile,
right,
and then gave the definition of senile, and asked Robert Hur, is he senile? It was just a political show. But Wes, apparently what I didn't know.
The book was a big thing, though, right?
Right. So he kept a lot of the documents, specifically his personal notes, to write the book. Now, there was no classified information in the books that have come out yet.
Right.
He did keep a memo called the Thanksgiving Day memo, right, essentially to prove that he was right. Because in 2009, Obama wanted to send a ton of troops into Afghanistan. Joe Biden was like, no, that's wrong. They got into a disagreement about it. That ended up happening. So he kept the memo essentially saying, look, I didn't want to go there in the first place, or essentially continue the war. But no, he knew pretty much. He knew he had classified documents.
Yeah.
But that's not what this is about. This is what people are missing. It's about the Justice Department making a determination of whether or not they can win in court. That's essentially what it was. And that's why he had the bit about him being an old man in there.
Yeah. That's like prosecution 101. Prosecutors like to have like a 99% win rate. So usually
they were talking about,
like, unless they have an agenda, they usually like to. But the book thing was interesting. Sorry, Wes, because the guy Hur said that everyone's favorite congressman Jim Jordan accused Biden of purposely keeping the documents to write the $8 million profitable book, and that's why he kept them. And then Hur said, we did find evidence of this, but then said what you said, that we didn't find any evidence of classified information in the book. So that's kind of like, what?
In his diaries. He said they said thought he was allowed to keep the diaries. He knew he wasn't allowed to keep classified documents, but his writings, and I don't know what precedent they were talking about, but they said they also pointed to some kind of precedent that other leaders had maybe done the same thing. I don't know who specifically they were talking about, but
the book thing is,
I mean, that's why I said it boils down to, like, the argument is about, yes, and if you're president, you're getting your DS all day by interns in the Oval Office. Okay, you're the king dingaling. You continue your privilege.
Right.
That's
what it sounds like to me is like Trump. Biden knew, and I don't think he told immediately about every single document. But there's no evidence that. There's no evidence.
Once he knew it was going to happen, he said, "Here are all the documents."
There's no evidence like that from the book or anything like that. So they weren't going to win the case because he's old, and there wasn't really any evidence. So
yes. The other hilarious thing that kept happening is, it's a weird situation, these hearings, right? Because there's order in when people can speak, and some of the Democrats were using that opportunity to slip in that Biden was exonerated of the charges, which just isn't true. So
he was just never charged, right? Yeah.
Essentially, it was like he wasn't exonerated.
Right,
they just don't think they can win in court, so they're not going to bring it.
So they weren't going to bring forward a case. Yeah.
But at the end of a couple of Congress people's lines of questioning, they would say, "Yes, okay, so he's exonerated. I yield my time."
That's slick.
Yeah, it's slick.
Why is
that? So what I'm hearing, just say he's exonerated. I'm hearing exonerated.
It's absolutely not exonerated. Yeah. It was. Anyway, so that's
how many presidents do you think take classified documents?
I'd say all of them.
Probably all of them.
That's why.
And not even presidents. Probably other like VPs.
That's why it boils down to what Hur said. Trump, if he had given the documents up and didn't play fuck around games forever, he wouldn't be charged with the shit. So it's kind of his own bed to sleep in, right? Ultimately, and he happens to live at a hotel. Where spies absolutely got in there and got the documents. That's just the case. But what are you gonna do? All right, real quick.
Trump's a little bit like Hunter Biden when it comes to documents with his laptop and all of his bullshittery. Like people can get to it.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I mean, spies were in Mar-a-Lago and they got at those documents. That's how spies work. They just were.
Like
you can't have the documents just at your hotel that you live at.
Wedding at Mar-a-Lago, you could have gotten to the documents. Apparently,
yeah.
Wes could have gotten to them.
You slip into the wrong room.
I could have photographed them.
Yeah.
100%.
Sure. Yeah.
And the scary part, politics aside, is those documents were strategically kept by Trump in terms of the early reports of what's in there, because they're power documents, right? Documents that have serious information about nuclear plans, things we don't want other people to have. Not
the book thing.
Anyway,
the book thing is the only catching point for me is like, did he purposely keep documents to make a book for profit that were? I know that it was about his son, but it had probably sensitive stuff about our locations of soldiers and shit like that. And
ultimately, it's what ended up in the book, though. And they looked at it. There's no classified info in the book. But he did tell his writer on tape, I just found the classified documents that he knew he was not supposed to have. So there you have it. Will TikTok be around much longer? I don't know. TikTok is on the chopping block. The House has brought a bill that they're voting on Wednesday to force TikTok to either divest from ByteDance, which is the parent company, Chinese company that owns them, or be banned in the U.S. So essentially they're saying you either got to get out of ByteDance, sell to a U.S. company, or create a new U.S. company.
Didn't they do that back in 2020? Didn't they?
So it's funny you say that. They attempted to. And Trump was the champion of that. He was really trying to get that done. Remember?
Right, like an American company had to have the servers of the American users or the data of the American users. Right? So there's going to be like an America TikTok, which was underneath the overall TikTok, but technically all American users would be reporting to, or their data would go to an American company, right?
Exactly. So that's exactly right, Mark. You remember this. This is old hat. This has happened before, but it kind of died out. And Trump was kind of beating the drum. He was the number one champion of that. He's kind of changed his tune, which is fucking hilarious.
Did he get a TikTok account? Is he getting views?
I'm pretty sure he did get a TikTok account.
He's getting millions and millions of views, and he's like, this ain't so bad.
This is what he said. This is pretty fucking great. Without TikTok, you can make Facebook bigger, and I consider Facebook to be an enemy of the people. So he's changed his tune.
The enemy of my enemies is my friend.
Exactly. So now he's pro TikTok. But look, here's the deal. Biden has said he'd already signed it into law. The House it's going to pass the House on Wednesday. The Senate has some concerns. The reason, just because it gets a little complicated to say why are they doing this. The reasons they're giving specifically are because it could be used to influence our opinions as Americans, and then also used to spy on Americans, which is absolutely true if you look at the back end of TikTok's user agreement.
I don't get what they're going to get out of that. I've never understood the spy aspect. I understand the influence aspect, but I don't understand what valuable information they're getting to spy on.
Data is like the most valuable. It's more valuable than
but what are they using it? I don't
know your location, what you like to buy, what you like.
Oh, it's way more than that.
Data, they can influence you if they know what you're influenceable by. But I'm seeing that there's 900 million TikTok users. So the past 4 years, China's had ByteWare's had our information. We're going to just stop it now, even though we tried to 4 years ago. Why didn't we do it 4 years ago? Why haven't we done it 3 years ago? Why didn't we do it 2 years ago?
Because it was an election year, Mark.
At this point, it doesn't fucking matter, does it?
Well, okay, so here's the deal. Wes, to answer your question a little further, there's already been bans on TikTok for government employees, in certain companies, because let's say you're a congressperson, you have it, they can get access to other parts of your phone, right? Like sensitive information. Let's say you're a congressperson and you like to, I don't know, have gay men eat peanut butter off the skin tags on your ass.
Sure, but for the normal person, what is it? Who gives a fuck? Like,
for the normal person, it's influence. That's what it is. It's influence.
Cell phone numbers, email numbers, and then influence. Yeah,
I get
misinformation
the aspect. Okay, makes more sense. The government aspect.
Anyway, the certain people are raising red flags, saying, "Wait a minute, this is like a big step towards censorship." Although it's an interesting question, because 100% you don't want our biggest adversary in the information wars to have influence over us. But at the same point, it's a step forward to making it more normal to ban.
But they do have the best algorithm of knowing what you want to see.
Algo.
They do have a great algorithm.
Great algo. It's pretty crazy. They have 180 days if it passes. They're voting on Wednesday. Let's see if it'll pass the Senate, but Biden already said that he would vote it into law. Y'all, if you're a freelancer, you probably hate quarterly tax bills. I know I do. And if you're a business of one, you might not be properly set up. You're probably overspending on your taxes, and it's time to reduce your tax bill with Collective, guys. Tax season is here, which means more paperwork, more headaches for your business of one. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can let Collective take care of all your tax accounting needs and you can see how they could save you thousands with what? An S Corp. That's right, guys. An LLC is great, but you usually get a high tax bill. It's time to switch over to the S Corp, and there's a March 31st deadline to see if an S Corp is right for you guys. Collective is an all-in-one financial solution for self-employed entrepreneurs that specializes in that S Corp election. That's what I got. I got an S Corp. Collective takes care of me. They can handle your taxes. They can also handle your bookkeeping, your payroll for a fraction of the cost of the CPA, which, look, if you're a business owner, you know, I'm speaking directly to you. You know what a pain in the ass it is to manage all the stuff that isn't your passion, right? And it's just
you don't know anything about.
Exactly, right? You know about the thing that your business is, not the rest of this BS. So let Collective take care of it for you. And if you're making at least $60,000 a year as a freelancer, right, you could be missing out on thousands and thousands of tax savings each year, right? With an S Corp election, you can save an average of $10K on taxes a year. So right now, Collective's waiving the onboarding fee. If you go to collective.com/HARDFACTOR and tell them HARDFACTOR sent you. That's $199 value waived and a full year of S Corp savings when you go to collective.com and tell them /HARDFACTOR and tell them HARDFACTOR sent you. That's collective.com/HARDFACTOR. And when you get there, what do you want to do?
Tell them HARDFACTOR sent you.
That's right.
Who sent you?
Who sent you?
Shout out Big Fudge. Happy birthday. Turned 34 today. Happy
Hell
birthday.
Yeah. Trainer of our Fatathon, Big Fudge.
Yeah.
Big Fudge.
Looking good. Guys, you've all heard
back, Big Fudge.
That was your callback. There you go. You've heard the headlines. Inflation is unchecked, right? The dollar is collapsing. The government is printing too much money. The fear is real, but there is a solution, and that solution is gold. The government can't print more gold, right? Only the earth can make more gold. The government can't make more gold. Gold isn't collapsing, and gold's value increases during inflationary times. Noble Gold Investment is here to help you protect your wealth. So hedge against inflation, economic downturn defense, great tax advantages, and it's stability in chaos. Gold remains steady when inflation is on the rise and the dollar is in turmoil. Unlike money, gold can't be printed. It's your shield in times of economic uncertainty. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, Noble Gold Investments simplifies and secures your gold investment journey. I don't know if you guys have ever held a bar of gold. I've only held a bar of silver, and it is something you want to get your hands on. It's nice to just have it,
I've never done it, but I've gotten on YouTube and watched guys holding it.
Yeah, it's crazy how heavy
That's pretty good too.
I want to hold it, Wes.
Yeah, you want to hold it.
Yeah.
So choose between a tax advantage gold IRA or have that physical gold delivered right to your door. Noble Gold Investments ensures a seamless and easy transaction. So invest in something that you can hold. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com/HARDFACTOR to get started. Don't wait. That's noblegoldinvestments.com/HARDFACTOR. Get your hands on some gold. Do that. Do yourself a favor.
You know, my favorite type of millionaire is like, you hear about like on a Dateline, right? Or something like a crotchety millionaire that no one knew was a millionaire because they started buying gold in the 70s and just stashed it away because they don't believe in banks.
Gold guys are the best. You know who was about to get his hands on a lot of gold, but decided to end his life in the middle of a testimony? Barnett. Guess he didn't want the gold.
Yeah. No, he didn't want the gold.
Sitting on the gold mine.
Luckily for Boeing, he just didn't want the gold.
Well, good luck for Boeing, huh? What a stroke of luck.
Great luck.
Things are turning around over here at Boeing. Got a quick PSA from the National Park Service caught my eye. The National Park Service is preparing for hungry bears to come out of hibernation as the snow melts. Spring is upon us. So some inevitable encounters with humans are going to be happening with these hungry bears. So they put out a little funny PSA on their X page, which reads, it reads, if you come across a bear, never push a slower friend down, even if you feel the friendship has run its course. So that's pretty funny.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Why?
Well, because your first thing is you just have to be fat. You just can't be the slowest person. So don't make it. Don't push your slowest friend down because then they'll get eaten and not instead of you. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. They also, the article said there's different ways to handle different species of bear we've covered. If you get attacked by a brown or grizzly bear, play dead. Lay flat on your stomach with your hands behind your neck as it mauls you, and spread your legs so it's harder for them to turn you over and rip your stomach out. But if it's a black bear, also then you stay like this for hours until the bear has left. And hopefully, you're not dead. If it's a black bear, don't play dead. Escape, try, or if you can't, then you got to just turn around and fight, make yourself big, blow, and hit the bear right in the muzzle if it attacks you. So
I think I'd rather take my chances and run than lay on the ground for 4 hours wondering if I'm about to get mauled.
For a grizzly bear,
just strap in.
Yeah.
It's going to catch you. They're fast.
Oh.
Which bear? There was one bear they were saying if it runs at you, you're supposed to suck its dick.
Right.
Which bear was
koala?
that?
That's the koala bear.
Yeah. Damn it!
No, that's the gay man bear.
Does anyone have any water? All right, let's do it. Let's do this.
By the way, have you guys seen this video of this crazy Polack fighting a bear in the zoo? Check this out. So the bear runs at him. He's in the enclosure. He jumps in the water, thinking that'll deter the bear. The bear follows him. He's like, not so fast. And he jumps in, and then he's just fighting this bear in the water. He's like on the bear's back.
What is he doing?
So crazy Polack. Look at this guy. Anyway, I thought that was amazing.
Big Fudge brings up a good point in the live comments. He goes, "Gotta fight the black ones, huh? Yeah, you should." The updated notes: if you see a black bear, you're supposed to arrest it.
Tell it to show me your hands.
Clutch your purse.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of getting eaten, let's talk about some cannibals in Haiti. All right. Now, Haiti, as far as I can tell, never really got back on its feet following the deadly 7.0 magnitude earthquake, which struck back in January of 2010, killing over 220,000 people, leveled much of Port-au-Prince, which is the capital and most populous city in Haiti. Some say the Clintons Foundation caused all this from stealing all the aid, billions. I'm not going to get into that, but I believe it. But we have uncovered.
I don't.
We have. She's a monster.
There you go. I got both sides there. There you go.
Yeah, she's a grizzly.
I'm not saying she's not.
We have covered many power struggles and resignations by leaders in Haiti. We covered the vigilante justice being done by gang members, where they were burned in the streets amid piles of tires back in 2023. That was when the gangs were starting to really rise up and people were fighting back. But now the gangs pretty much have complete control of the city. 80% of the city, Port-au-Prince, is now being controlled by gangs. It's crazy. Here's a local news story to tell you pretty much what's going on. It's about a day late, this news story, so I'll update you after I play it.
Tonight, the future of democracy in Haiti at its tipping point as the country, now overrun by gang leaders, teeters on the edge of political chaos. The out-of-control violence escalating over the last week when the same gangs who once fought each other then banded together, attacking airports, police stations, the presidential palace, even prisons, releasing thousands of inmates into the streets. The island nation spiraling into a state of emergency, prompting leaders of Caribbean nations to hold an emergency meeting over the crisis. The man at the center of it all, G9 gang leader Jimmy Cherizier, also known as Barbecue, one of Haiti's most notorious and ruthless gang leaders. Now, one of the most powerful men in the country. Threatening consequences if Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry doesn't answer calls to resign. Henry has been marooned in Puerto Rico since last week, unable to land due to threats at the airport. The Haitian gang boss rising to power, once an officer in the Haitian National Police Force, now the face of the rebellion against the government, likening himself to figures like Robert Hur, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Fidel Castro.
It's clear that.
Anyway, you get the idea. That's Barbecue. He
How do you get that name?
Well, some say it's because back in 2018, he was the head of a massacre which killed 70 people when he burned a lot of his victims. He says it's because his mom gave him that name when she was a fry cook for a fried chicken place.
Okay.
I tend to believe the former.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the latter because I'm going to the Dominican pretty soon here, and that is right next to Haiti. So I'm going to hold my judgment on barbecue.
Yeah. So update.
You got to stay out. You can't cross that line, Mark.
I got no problems with barbecue. I want that to be clear.
Look at him. He means business. And barbecue, prior to the news that came out today, is that Henry has resigned under the stipulation that a council be put in place to, assign a new president or prime minister who will then be ousted by barbecue and the gangs. And basically, education leaders and political experts are saying that the gangs are now going to get a seat at the table. They're so powerful in Haiti. They control 80% of the country that it's undeniable. You have to talk to them now. They have to have a seat at the table. They have to have some demands met because they are running shit down there now. So
when does a gang become a political party is the question. And it's right here, right now.
Yeah.
It was in 2021. That's when they rolled into the president's house and just offed him.
Right.
You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
And then multiple people tried to be the leader and they kept resigning and it never worked out. So yeah. Now barbecue did put out a statement to the world after the resignation of Henry. He said, "Today we are taking the occasion to tell the international community to give Haiti a chance, because what is happening in Haiti now, we Haitians have to decide who's going to lead the country. Hopefully it's me, and what model of government we want. We are going to figure out how to get Haiti out of the misery it is in now. Today, it's clear that people who live in the shanty towns are the ones who know what they are going through. It is the Haitian people who are going to take their destiny into their own hands. Haitian people will pick the person to govern them," adding, "If they don't pick barbecue, I will burn them all alive. So don't be stupid."
What do you say about tourism? Is he going to leave tourists alone? Or
if you go to Haiti right now, you're a moron.
You're going to stay in Haiti?
They've already evacuated all the embassies. They've got missionaries over there begging to be rescued.
I don't know. That meeting looked like they were going to get something done when they had that emergency meeting in that boardroom.
Oh, yeah.
Sure a lot was accomplished.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to get... Barbecue will throw you in the pit. If I was Barbecue's right-hand man, I would absolutely hit him with a "You're the man now, dog," or "You're the captain now."
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some tells me Barbecue's going to be the new leader, but we'll see what happens. And that's the show. Thank you for joining us once again. Patreon.com/HARDFACTOR if you need more content. Got some great shows like Let's Go, our sports show, Hive Hour. Anything can happen. And then, of course, Florida Man Friday, where we cover the top Florida stories of the week. So go over there, patreon.com/HARDFACTOR. But most importantly, yes, Pat?
I was going to say, can we, you let me know when you have a free Friday or Saturday, and we can schedule the first Dad Camp watch party.
Okay. It will be, we can do that by the end of March for sure.
Hey.
Cool. Yeah. All right. We love you. Have a great fucking day.